Hey guys, welcome to another video. So I figured, since I'm redoing the Stealth Burner and CW2 for my what's the name behind me, my Trident. So I reprinted some parts just to kind of match the Trident because I had a bunch of different color parts on it because I was trying out different hot ends. But in today's video, we're gonna install a Fadus Rapido. It's the Ultra Eye Flow. And what makes it Ultra Eye Flow is honestly just the nozzle. It's a longer nozzle on it. But I'm going to just install, since I don't think Voron support the Ultra Eye Flow version, I'm just going to do the Eye Flow version, which is not a big deal. But the nozzle is there if I ever needed to make it the Ultra Eye Flow. So I got the blue one in, as you guys can see. So I'm about to install it on my Trident here. So, but I wanted to just do a demonstration of how to put this together and just kind of watch you guys make it a pretty easy video. So let's get into it. So I've already prepared a couple of stuff. As you can see, I have the fan routed, and what I love to do with my fan mod is I love to take a JST connector and put both of them in it. So it's just one plug, just to make it easy. So 4-pin, set it up where it's just one plug to plug in instead of having multiple connectors. I use a bunch of 4-pins to make it easy to connect multiple fans or the hot end and the thermistor in one, to just make it easy. Less connector. So I have everything prepared. I have my lights prepared, everything all good. So let's get into it. So let's get to the part we need to, is assembly. So we're gonna add some M3 threads here. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the parts we need. Go ahead and take this. Those are M4s. See if these are the right sizes. So we're gonna go ahead and add to the top here, from what it sounds like. Trying to see what it looks like, guys. One here and one here. Okay. Okay, one here, one. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and add these in. They're a little long, but they should work. You know what? I'm actually going to use a slightly thicker version, just to make sure that it doesn't come back out. You guys can see what I'm doing here. Gonna push it down to as far as I can. There we go. Then I'm gonna run a screw, one of the screws through that to clean that out. And so that's installed, as you guys can see that. Nicely done. Take one more. It goes right here. You guys can see that. Should be flat nicely. Alright. I'm not even gonna wait because I don't want to forget, so I'm gonna go ahead and run just so I can clean off the extra plastic here. There we go. So that's the extra plastic that would have been at the back, so that can cause some issues if you don't get that out. So there we go, that's nice and straight. Do it for the next side as well. Okay, that's done. So you guys can see that. Alright. So, says one at the top here, so we need, trying to see if we need, okay, so this is for this part, so we're done with that. So we need one here, one here, and one here, okay. Let's see if my other size would fit. I have two different size M3 threaded inserts. So I want to make sure that I put the right one in. And what else? I feel like this goes in at the back. Yep, that goes in at the back. So again, it says it says out of date for reference only. So because they did change a couple of things, so it no longer goes in the front; it actually goes in the back. Okay. So that's just for reference. They haven't really released the official ones, but these are just the latest beta printed parts here. So this goes in the back. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the two that actually goes in the front. And this looks like it might be okay. Yeah. We're gonna use that one. I don't put a lot of pressure, I just let the heat and everything does its job to put it in. Alright. That's done. And then we need one more up here. I think that would be fine. Okay, there we go. So we got the two in. You guys can see that. Okay, and then we need that one in the back. And go with the bigger one I got here. That's there. Trying to see if there's, yep, there's two more. One here. One here, one here. Got two more in the back. So these, I'm going to use the thicker ones for this. That should be good. It's a little longer than I wanted it to be. That's all right. And one that goes right here. Alright, so we got them right there. So, and then we need one right here, of course, and another one. Let's see if we need one here. I know one goes in that hole. Not sure if I want to put one there, but let's look if another one goes there. Okay, so these ones are for like if you're running input shaper. If you want to put it in the mount it in the housing here, pretty sure, but I'm not gonna do that. I usually put my accelerometer in the front, so I'm gonna go ahead again just like I did and clear out some of the stuff out of this. Make sure it's clear. Okay, that's cleared out. This one too. Look at this for reference. Yep, there was two right there. There's one there, and at the back. Yep. So, just checking to make sure I'm correct, but I'm good. Okay, those are cleared out nicely. The holes look really good. No issues. Let me clear this one out so we want to. Yep, there's one cleared out. There we go. Alright, all looks good. Now we're going to do the assembly here. So I'm going to put this the bearing here, little bearing goes right in here. So now you got to pressure fit this. I'm going to try see if I can get it in there, but it's no guarantee. If your tolerance is pretty good, you can get it in. If not, you might have to work it in. Let me see if I can go fatter. My table is kind of soft, so I'm trying to work it in here, and that worked. My tolerance is pretty decent, so I'm able to just use some manpower and get it in. Alright, so now do the same one here. Get this out of the way. Where's the other one? There we go. So now we got to put this in here now, the other one. Let's see if this one behaves itself. This is going to be the tricky one to kind of get in place. Sometimes you can actually use this to kind of help you guide you down in there. Okay. That actually went down perfectly where I needed to be. That is nice. Perfect. So as you can see, it slotted perfectly and lined up nicely with the actual hole. So that ended up working out better than I thought. Okay. So now I'm going to grease this a little bit more, even though I have some on it. I'm going to drop a little bit more grease on there. So I'm going to dabble some grease in this little ounce in here. I'm cleaning off the outside just a little bit. Just cleaning off some of the built up filament on the actual gear part, the hob part that meshes with the other gear. Okay. All right. Slide this in here. Give it a couple spin. Do it a little bit more. Make sure you put grease on this, guys, because what will happen when I didn't put a lot of grease on this is that this thing will basically eat the little rod that it's on, like literally will just eat into it without it. So make sure you definitely grease it up, guys. Right. So next move is to, that's already set for me. All that has been done. So we just got to put this in place. So, and that's already done. So now we just got to slot these two together. Wow, that fit like a glove, man. You guys can see that. There you go. So, and yeah, it's nicely centered. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so now we're going to put some screws in. So we're going to put, this is 25 millimeters. I know this is 20. I'm trying to get my screws right here because I had them kind of mixed up. That's 20. This is the longest, so this will be 2 M325s. And don't over tighten this, guys. You don't want to over tighten them. As soon as it catches, you just kind of want to just, as soon as you feel like it's about to stop, just stop it right there. No need to over tighten because we got to put other things in place. All right. All right, and then there's another 25 down here. All right. Yeah, my experience with the Stealth burner and Clockwork 2 so far, I love it. I noticed a difference going from Afterburner and Clockwork 1 to Stealth burner and Clockwork 2. There was a big difference in weight. I could tell because before I was limited to about 5,000-ish acceleration, somewhere around there. I couldn't go any faster. It's just, there's nothing but pure ringing. Now I'm able to go much faster. Right now, all my machines run 10K acceleration with 300 millimeter seconds. Like they're pretty fast. If I point back there, I'm not sure if you can see that, but if you look, you can see my 1.8 printing pretty quickly back there. So Stealth Burner and Clockwork2 definitely worthy upgrade as long as you put it together properly. So now that we ran the 225, like I said, I didn't tighten up anything. You don't need to do it right now. Just making sure we put everything in place. So next is the motor. Got my motor here, JST connector. So I'm just trying to line this up. Okay, so let's put the big one in first. Give me a second, guys, here. Give me 1 second, guys. Alright, I'm back, guys. So let's go ahead. Grab, I think it says 30 millimeters, so this is 30 millimeter M3. Run this. Just lining up the motor with the hole. Now, if you wanted to use like a electric screwdriver with this, you can, but I don't mind. I just kind of want to be delicate with the hot end because, like I said, the assembly of this is very sensitive. I notice a lot of people are running into issues with the Clockwork2 assembly. Various issues, and you just want to be careful. Like it's a delicate extruder in the sense of assembly, so just be very mindful how you assemble it, because sometimes it's not the actual problem of the extruder but user error, right? So just gently, don't over tighten, just gently, you know, tighten it. Nothing serious, nothing over tightening. It's plastic, so we don't need to go crazy. As you can see, this one part of the motor is mounted. It's looking good. So now we got to put the, I want to say, you know what, guys, I should have added the tensioner. So you know what, I'm going to go ahead and drop, before I put on the side, I'm going to go ahead and add in a M3 heated insert for my tensioner. So there's a tensioner that helps, and what happened is sometimes the Bondtech gears, especially if it's like aftermarket, but not genuine Bondtech gears, but like your standard third-party ripoff Bondtech BMG gears, some of them are not all equal. Basically, they're not all quality stuff, and to compensate for that, because when the original Stealth Burner, when you mounted it, it was kind of tight. I'm not gonna lie, this didn't spin very nicely and very freely, and so it caused a lot of issues. So there is actually that little hole you see right there. There is a M3 heated insert that's supposed to go there, which I'm about to do, and then you can put a M3 button head, I want to say, button head. So it's this. Let's see if I can find one. So this type of screw here, I'm pretty sure it's called either socket or button head. I'm not sure what you call that, but that here. And what that's supposed to do is, if it's too tight and you can't turn this by hand freely, you can actually put a screwdriver in, like a Allen wrench in, and turn it, and it will put some pressure off, you know, back off the idler arm a little bit to allow it to move a little freer, and that way you don't have to use, because what happened in the beginning, I had to use a lot of amperage on my motor to turn it, and my motor got hot, like, I mean, stupid hot. You're talking about, I used 0.7 amp when you're really supposed to use only like 0.5 amp max, so 0.5 milliamp max with these things, and 0.7 and up, these things get hot, like super hot, and they will stop extruding, they will stop working properly. So to combat that, you know, with that, now with the tensioner in place, you can back off a little bit on the idler arm. That allows the motor to move use a lot less power and a lot less torque to turn the gears and to extrude, essentially. So I knew that I talked a lot in that process, but you guys understood what I was saying. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this in. So I forgot, and let me go ahead and set it down in place there. It's pretty easy because there's enough clearance for me to put it in place. I'm just keeping that angle that is sitting at. All right, perfect. So as you guys can see, it's installed. All right, so now we can continue. I might just actually run this through it just to clean out any plastic. Cool down a little bit. Any plastic that has got in it. Should come through the back here. There we go. And there is some plastic, some molten plastic melted out here. So I'm just squeezing. Yep, there we go. Pushing that out from the back. There we go. See, you guys can see just a little bit of molten plastic there. So, all right, I'm just going to go ahead and add this in so that way I don't forget it. Should have 4. Trying to find the right one. There we go. Alright, make sure to put that in place so I don't forget. And very good right there. So you guys can see it. Alright, now we can continue. So, next thing to do is the M8 screw. I want to say I'm probably going to use this. And this is to go to hold the next side of the motor right here. Make sure to put it in place right there. Drop that in place. Oh. There we go. So now I'm just going to adjust my motor where I want it to be. Make sure the gear is meshing with the extruder, and it is. Now you don't want it all the way on it, you just want it to mesh just enough, because if you, I notice when you put it all the way on it, sometimes it can cause some binding. Yep, it can cause binding, so you just want it. I'm just gonna re-engage it back where I want it. Back off just a little. Yeah, that's too far. Right there. That's perfect right there. That is perfect right there. Yeah, that feels really good. Yeah. See, you should be able to do this when you're done assemble. You should be able to turn this without much force at all. Like once you turn it, you can feel the motor actually turning. That's what you want to feel. If you don't feel that, that means nothing is aligned and you have done it wrong. So you should feel the motor turn nicely and smooth. No effort. All right, so now next thing is the idler assembly. Now this is a little tricky to put together. It's 2 pieces for the idler assembly. Make sure you have, not sure, let me move this glass so you guys can see that. So I have a vice grip back here that I just put them side to side. Put just a little tip of grease or oil. Mostly I just use oil, and this kind of use the pressure of the vise to push it together, and put that together. Okay. So now we just got to put our idler assembly in, and then we have a M3 heated insert that goes here. So let me put the heated insert first, so that I don't forget it. Should I use this one or use a bigger one? Because this one seems a little small, but let me check it again. I think we should be okay. I think we should be. Yeah, I'm going to use a bigger one. I just don't feel... Slightly bigger one. Where is the other set? Go. Yeah, I know you guys are worried, but I'm being very careful. I know it's pretty hot. I won't burn myself, I promise, guys. I'm keeping it away from my face. So I'm being very careful. Yeah, this is much better. All the way down till it's leveled. That looks good. Alright. Some melted plastic is in there, so we're going to go ahead once again and push that all out. It's coming out. There we go. As you guys can see, that it's all melted plastic on the tip of the screw. That's it. Right, and this require M316, which is probably this. Pretty sure. Yep. So we'll go ahead and put that in. Okay, and it grabbed, looking nice. There we go. All right, so now we can put our gears, and we're gonna have to use some pressure to pop it in. So I'm gonna have to use my hand pressure, so if I can pop it in here. Sometimes you really gotta put the pressure down. There we go. Got one side in. There we go. All right, and there it is. Nicely popped in, and it's moving freely. Okay. Make sure I have the other pieces as well. Now we need to add an M3 to this one, because this is going to be inserted in the in here, it slides right in. So we're gonna have to add another M3 heated insert to that one. I'm trying to figure out whether to use the shorter one. I have two different sizes of M3, some short, some tall, so I'm making sure put the right one in there. Nope. So I'm actually going to use the wider one here, short and wide. Yeah, we'll use this one here. Yeah, that's a better fit. Go ahead and insert that real quick. Perfect. All right. There we go. Get it. Oh, sorry guys. Trying not to push it too much in the camera. Alright. Let me adjust this camera just a little. Way it's pointed. Alright. So we got that done. Now to do the final assembly. So now okay, so now we're going to take this. Now there's a little slot here. See this little notch? There's a little notch. It's kind of white, but you can't see it. There's a little notch here. And then there is a groove right there, as you can see demonstrated on the screen. So you just take that and make sure it slides in. And then you add your screw in. There we go. And then we're going to take our screw assembly here. Screw that in. Oop. Yeah, that's screwing down, but we want the old assembly in. So let me take this. That's better. Alright. So now I'm going to take this and we're going to slide it. There we go. Looks like that. Fit perfectly. It's going to do a test spin. Make sure. Oh, perfect. So still feels nice and easy to turn. So that means I'm right on the money with assembly here. And then we're going to put this in place. So let's actually, well, it's already in. That's funny. All right, let's not put that in yet. Let's actually get the screw for this in place. So insert and then add M335, which is this one right here. Yep. This is like my, how should I put it? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my 5th Clockwork 2 assembly that I'm doing. So I'm pretty used to putting this together. But I figure I'd make a video to show you how to do it right. And like I said, it's not hard, guys. Just be very careful not to over tighten the stuff because it doesn't need to be. Okay, so I'm going ahead. Once it reaches there, hold on. See, it pays to kind of put some pressure on the actual thing before it actually hits the M3 threads here. So let me put some pressure on that so it doesn't. There we go, that's better. Better not turn. Eat. I think that's good enough. I won't turn it anymore because I don't want it to strip and turn. So, and the reason for that is because anytime there's plastic, like when you insert a heated insert into plastic, if some gets into the actual if some gets on the actual, either on the screw itself or on the heated heat insert threads, when you try to insert a screw, it will squeal. It'll make that noise. And so sometimes what I would do is add a little drop of oil, and then that goes away. But in this case, I'm already at the top bottom of this, so there's no need to over screw it and ruin it. So but right now everything is nicely fitted. As you can see, no warping or anything like that. It's nicely fitted in place, and the screw is leveled with the parts. So right, so I'm gonna test it again. Yep, you're still feeling the same freeness, so we're good there. Next thing to do is to add, okay, so we're gonna go add our cover, which is this right here, and that requires a M316 and another 16, which is right here. I'm going to pre-thread it in. Just make sure it's sticking out just a little. We're going to take this. Make sure we're actually getting it in place. Got to put pressure on it while you screw this in, because you're screwing into plastic here. There's no heated inserts for the cover. You're just screwing into plastic, so you want to keep some pressure on it. So you're basically using the screw to tap threads into the plastic of the cover. Oh yeah, that was a workout. Cool off the wrist there. Cover this up. All right. Don't want to overdo it. Don't want to over tighten. Just want it to sit right there. And there we go. Got a cover. All right. And if you want to know what the black ABS is, it's printed really, really nicely. This is our Sunlu black ABS that I'm using. And the white ABS is Amazon ABS, like regular Amazon ABS, which prints nice as well. All right, so there we go. Got a cover on. So now we're gonna lift this up and put in our little clip in place here, our little clamp. So let's push that down in, get it down in there. Make sure it's lined up so you can see a hole. Yep. Gotta make sure that lines up again. then it says 325. Let me see. Don't I not have an M325 here? I just have a bunch of M320s. M325. Yeah, okay. Found one. Okay. Make sure it gets in the hole. Make sure it lines up. There's a hole that in this, and the screw needs to get into this, into the hole and into a M3 thread, M3 heated insert back here. When I first did the stealth burner, the Clockwork 2, I had issues lining it up, but now again with my printers well dialed in, I have no issues doing that. Look at that, like in one go, no issues getting it lined up. I think I just hit the thread there, the M3 thread, M3 heated insert I meant. So I'm not going to go overboard because this is just for the clip. It's just to hold this in place. All right. Okay. Should be able to clip it in place here, but it's pretty, there we go, pretty tight. All right, here we go. Now, you see how tight this was to put down? How tight it took? Look, just pop it, but look how much effort it took to actually clip it in place. So to see how much effort it's taking? And this is where I was saying, if it's tight, this is where the adjustment comes in for the actual, for the gear. To back off the gear a little bit so it goes in smoothly. So there we go. So much force that it took to clip in place, but it's good because it just means that it's solid. Now I'm gonna try to move the gear. Now if the gear don't feel the same way like it's been before I put that tensioner on, then now we're gonna have to put the Allen wrench in here to screw it down to back out the idler arm a little bit so that way it moves freely. Not all the way, because you do need tension on the actual filament when it goes in, but not so much that it's causing you to increase the amperage on the motor in order to extrude, right? So let me feel. It's not as smooth, I'm gonna be honest with you, because that means there's tension on it. So now I'm gonna have to tension this out just a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab, will this work? Go ahead and take this, put it in there, back this out a little bit. Feel it? That feels a little bit better. Now, like I said, I don't want to back it out all the way now. I kind of just want it backed out just a little bit, just so I can make that motor feel a little freer. I think I need just a little bit more. Alright, that feels better. Now, let me make sure the gear is turning. I can't tell. Yeah, okay, so the gear is turning, and that feels really, really good. So you see why that was important? It pushes a little bit of pressure on the idler arm here to back it out just a little, so that way the motor can turn this Bondtech gear smoothly. You know, again, this is very important when assembly, because if not, what's going to happen if you don't know that is that you might not install that heated insert and that button head screw, and what will happen is that when you assemble this and you try to go to extrude, you're going to hear the motor can't extrude because it's so tight, right? And And that's what most people are running into, that issue of the motor being tight, because they don't have that adjustment there. And that adjustment is there for this purpose, is so you can adjust and allow the motor to be to not work as hard to extrude the filament. So that's what that's there for. And see, I fixed it, so now we know we're good here. So I think that's it for, well, nope, we got to put the arm on, and then that will be it for the extruder assembly. So let's go ahead and finish that up. So I'm going to put some heated inserts here, and we need 3 in the top. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Let's see, which one can I put there. Okay, I can put the big one here, one of the bigger ones. Right? Yep, I can. Trying to hold this and have some leverage, so when I push it down, go down nice and easy. That's good. All right, and then we need 3 on the top here. So get 3 of the smaller ones, and that should. This. And guys, make sure you get yourself a lot of heated inserts. But especially when it comes to Voron builds, they use a lot of heated inserts. So, and especially when you're redoing and building multiple tool heads like I do, heated inserts, you're gonna need a lot. Now what I try to do, I try to salvage heated inserts from previous prints that I have. Like, I'll heat it up really hot, put a screw in it really quick, and just wiggle it until it comes out, so that way I can salvage the heated inserts. But you know, it's all good. So there we go. Got it installed. Pretty easy. And again, guys, these heated insert things for your soldering iron is very convenient. Now, I've seen a debate online where people are like, oh, just use the regular tip. Honestly, it doesn't work really well, especially to keep the insert going in straight. Like you see, I've been doing it by hand, and so far I haven't stripped one. And that's because the edges here, there's a little edge on it. You can see that little edge. It sits right on the rim of the heated inserts and keep it nice and straight in. So this is why I like these things. It just makes it very convenient. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and mount this. We're gonna see what we need. We need a 20. So we got a 20 here. Go ahead and put this right here. Oops. Wowzers. Make sure that's in there. Alright, now we can kind of do final tightening. A little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. I think they're good there. Yep. Good there. Good there. Alright, so let's finish this up. We need one more that goes right here. This bolt. Will this work? Maybe. Let me see if this will work. If it's tall enough, it just don't look like it'll sit nicely in there. You know what? I'm gonna use this instead. There we go. Nicely done. There we go. Wow, that's looking really nice, guys. Everything is nicely put together, as you can see. This. So you can see gaps are even, no crazy gaps. Things are looking good. There we go. Super clean. And like again, the motor feels good. No problem. Not sure if you guys can hear that. So, yep, no problem. All right, so the only thing left to do is put a M3 heated inserts right in that hole, and that's to keep the flap here, keep that the cover down. You know, keep the cover down. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. And like I said, the manual here, they're gonna re-update it. That's why it says out of date, for reference only, because they made so much change to the Clockwork 2. So I'm just showing the manual as a reference if you needed to do it. If you already know how to do this, then you don't need to watch this video. But I think it's important to watch because I provided some valuable information today for those who want to assemble it and may not know exactly what to do. So I hope that this video may help you in the future, or anyone right now watching it. So now we just need to go ahead and do this. Using a slightly bigger one here, slightly bigger heated insert because the hole is a little big. Okay, we need to come down just a little bit more. Touch it up on the edge, keep it flat. There we go. Alright, nicely done. And make sure it lines up with our hole. Yep, it does. And we can actually put just covering it up for reference so you guys can see what it looked like. Oh. Actually, you know what? This doesn't even need a big So there you go. That's it. Whole assembly. Nicely covered up. Took a whole hour. But I just wanted to show that, guys, how to assemble the Clockwork Clockwork 2 extruder. So hopefully that you guys find this valuable. Everything else is kind of self-explanatory. It didn't make no sense to really do this as well. This is easy as well. But I know, like I said, a lot of people ran into issue with the Clockwork 2 assembly. So hopefully this video will help someone out there when they assemble their Clockwork, just to make sure that, again, the tensioner, the main issue people run into is the tension. They don't know how to set the tension. Like I said, you need an M3 heated insert inside, a little buttonhead screw, so that way when you assemble the whole thing, you can adjust it and to make sure that the the gearing and the motor is still moving pretty freely. Not so free, but freely enough with your hands, so that way when the motor turns on and extruding, you're not running into any problems or any issue with the clockwork. Again, most of the issue here is, like, again, user error, not being able to assemble it correctly. But once assembled correctly, Clockwork 2 I find just as good as the Sharper Mini. I would say the Sharper Mini is just that bit better, just because of the way it's assembled. It's very I should say it's easy to assemble, the Sharper Mini, and it's just a lighter extruder. But again, with this, the sophistication of this, to me, in my opinion, it works just as well as the Sharper Mini. But I give the Sharper Mini the edge in terms of lightness. It's much lighter. This is a little weighty when you start adding everything to it, but still lighter than the Clockwork 1 extruder. And to me, much better, much more consistent extrusion with this over the Clockwork 1. And yeah, so yeah, but that's about it, guys. Don't want to make it any long, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like, subscribe, and yeah, share. And yeah, guys, on my way to 2,000 subscribers. I'm super excited. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.